When should you take Social Security? At the age 62 with the reduced benefits? At the age 67 for full benefits? Or at the age of 70, which is the maximum benefit? Which one is best for you? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Doug the Retirement Guy, and we're continuing our smart retirement program, How to Retire Smartly. I've been retired now for a little over 10 years. And I kind of put this series together to help people from my Patreon channel, from my YouTube supporters, a lot of different questions about retirees. And I wanted to put this one together. So this is part two of a 5-part series that I put together that I think creates that smart retirement program. At least it's what I've been working with for over 10 years now. So the question is 7 legitimate reasons why you should file at 62 that nobody ever talks about. Okay? Now, this is not for everybody. I'm going to show you some examples out there that may be smarter to retire later. Maybe retire at the 62, maybe do it at 65. But this just gives you 7 legitimate questions that really settles it down to that 62 is most likely the best age to retire. So let's get into today's video. Well, before we got to get into this, we do have to do a disclosure because we're technically rated as a financial channel, but the past performances do not guarantee future results, and the information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes. It is not to be considered financial advice. Let's start off with, now the Social Security Administration quietly removed a break-even calculator. So the question I at first asked is, why would they spend all this time and all this money to create a break-even calculator to help people down the road to figure out when is the best time for them to retire? You go now and you get the 404 error. The tool's been removed. The Social Security Administration, SSA, built a tool to help Americans to decide when to file. Probably one of the biggest decisions that people will make into retirement is when to collect their Social Security. They watched users systematically misinterpret the data and then just delete it. The real math involves 700 plus filing strategies most people never consider. The wait until 70 advice is often repeated, but it's not always the right one. And I'll just share my personal stuff with you. I sat down with a financial advisor just by, a couple of questions. My sister was getting ready to retire, and I was asked to, hey, sit in with me. And I started asking questions. And every time we asked a question, everything came back up. At the age of 70, wait on Social Security. Wait. And I never gave me a reason of why. But they built the tool, broke the tool, deleted the tool. It's a classic government move. Don't help the people. And I'm not going to get political here, but it's really don't help the people. Don't help people make it. Let the media, let situations change it, which is the new one, wait until 70. Well, the simplest thing I ever found was the Faucet Metaphor, pressure versus flow. Delaying until the age of 70 builds up a lot of pressure. Okay, every year you wait, your monthly payment increases. That's the pressure. So you're going to get more money by waiting until 70. The risk is the water left in the pipe evaporates. Uncollecting benefits are gone forever if you don't live long enough. And this is where the mathematical part always came into it. And I know we're using water because it kind of just makes people understand this maybe a little easier. But here's my point. At the age of 7, delaying until 70 before you start taking your funds, okay, first is you're gambling that you're going to live past 70. Now, I'm not trying to speak negative to anybody. I wish we all lived to, 100 or a million years or whatever number you'd like to predict. But every year over 70 is when you start collecting your money, is a gamble. Are you going to live that past longer? Now, filing early is what we call low pressure. Your monthly check is smaller, so less flow than if you waited, but you get immediate flow. You start filling your glass immediately. Your fun, your lifestyle, while you're young enough to enjoy it. And that's actually my magic words I've always used, is making sure you're young enough to do what you want to do and enjoy it from the Social Security. You paid for that water. Don't let it evaporate. You've paid into the system. From the first day you started working, you started paying into this. Your employer started paying into this. So it's your money. Don't ever think about this as a government's money. This is your money that you've paid into. Your employer paid into it. Okay? You're letting the government manage it, which is probably, again, not getting political, but probably the wrong thing that we've all done across the board. Now, the professor, Pat's case, Pat is my sister, filing at 62 versus 67 or 70. Okay? The filing age and the benefits that she would have collected this is where the math comes into play, which is where everyone sits down and says, simple math is the easiest way to figure this out. I've done a video on this before and kind of used the same philosophy because it works so well. But simple math is step one. This is not the answer to everything. That's why I have the 7 different reasons of when to select your retirement and select your Social Security. So at the filing age, Pat basically would have collected benefits of $2,238. Okay, that's the reduction from maximum input. Now at 67, if she waited 5 years, she would collect almost $1,000 more, $3,198. And if she would wait until 70, she would have got her maximum benefits of $3,966. So you can see the big gap difference between it. Now, the total collected at the age of 84, we did this in a computer system that we put it all out. She would have collected over $615,000. Okay? At 67, waiting those extra 5 years, she would have collected $652, so which is about just shy about $37,000 additional. But that would have taken her, almost 17 additional years to collect an additional $37,000. And then if you basically, at taking that 70, you break even in your early 80s. So you're not even ahead at 84. You're not even early. You're breaking even. So as I always explain, at 62, the return to get your money to break even point is about a 12 to 14 year gap. Okay, so you have to wait 12 to 14 years before you break even. So this is where the simple math comes into, is starting early at 62. The break-even point for your early 80s, nobody knows exactly when they're going to die. Now, I hate to get groomed onto it, but the truth is we never know when we're going to die. So if you wait until you're 70 before you start collecting Social Security, and you live until 84, it was no different than enjoying the money that you got at 62, and you would have had 8 years of do whatever you want to do because you had the money coming in. A $37,000 difference over a lifetime, that's less than 1 year's benefits. The gap is smaller than you actually think. So when you hear your financial advisor, who you're probably paying for, telling you do not take your Social Security until you're 70, maximize it, I have to ask the question, is he making money on this? Is he making money somewhere else in your portfolio? Is he making money? Why would he give you advice like this when the math does not work out? The gap is not big enough. Nothing works, but they will tell you this almost religiously. Wait until 70. Now, we did not talk anything about cost of living adjustments. That turns a small gap into a $246,000 difference. Now, the cost of living adjustment works exactly like compounding interest to your benefit. A 3% increase on that $3,966 at the age of 70 equals to $119 a month, more than the 3% increase on that $2,238. Now, over a lifetime, that compounding effect creates a massive $246,000 difference. So that hidden multiplier is why filing decisions is one of the highest stakes financial choices that you'll ever make. So on the screen, I show you, if you waited, at the age of 70, look at a 3% growth in cost of living. Now at 70, your number's going to be definitely much higher, and you're going to have a larger increase from the age 70, if filing at 70 or filing at 62 at the age of 70, because of that big increase, that cost of living. Sure, you're going to wait. And this is an avenue that a lot of financial investors will use to prove what I just said is totally wrong. Is waiting till 70, and then when you start increasing your cost of COLA, you're going to catch up on your difference a lot faster. So the COLA is reason to waiting and can pay off, but only if you live long enough. It's like you're playing with numbers. You're playing with mathematical numbers to prove I'm right, you're wrong. And this is the funny thing that our financial advisor did actually go through. This is where I put this together. When they sat down with Pat and said, hey, look, here's the big difference. You're missing the whole boat by using simple math. When they sat down and said that at the age of 70, when we start getting COLA adjustments every year, you're going to be making more money, and this is a $250,000 difference. This is why you're making a huge mistake. $250,000 difference when you're hitting into your 80s and 90s and so on. The number he used was out to 90 years old. And I sat there and looked at that, and he says, mathematically, again, he is right. But the final word that I said, if you live long enough. And to me, there's way too many ifs in that statement. Okay? If I live long enough. Well, another piece of the puzzle I've always told people and always lived in my life is between your 60s and 70s are your important retirement years. Those are the years you're going to do. Your health is, most likely your health is in great shape. Okay? You're going to you want to travel. You're going to want to go out and do things. You're going to want to spend time getting away from working and that controlled environment to freedom to do what you want. Get out, see the world, do what you want to do everything you want. When you hit that 70 mark, you're slowing down. When you hit 75, you're slowing down even more. So then you take 75 to 90 that you're really not really wanting to do much, but you got all the money. You got a lot more money now than you had before. Question is, will you be alive to enjoy it? So here's one. If your pipe is leaking, open the faucet now. Here's reason number one why I say you should take it 62. And this has nothing to do with the basic maths. This is going to have nothing to do with the difference in COLA. Reason number one, health history. Poor family health history means waiting is a gamble you might lose. If your pipe is leaking, don't wait for maximum pressure. Okay? And then the tables that tell us, when they said that the average American lives until about 76. I think they moved it to 78 now. Woman's about 82. That's from birth. But what they also never told you about is when you get to 60, and if you've had no health issues, nothing, you actually extend your life expectancy. Okay? But it's still, I always call it the ruler. You were born here. You're going to die somewhere out here you don't know. So think of a yardstick. Pick a number on the yardstick. You're going to die somewhere out there we don't know. And where are you at? You're probably somewhere in the middle to 3/4 of the way through. So health has everything. Take a look at what your past family history is. And you might have changed it. So I'm not saying that's the holy grail. But when I sat down and looked at our family health side of it, my mother had uncles that died at 50. She had a father who lived until their 90s. My mother's living well into her 90s. My father passed away in his 70s. So you kind of have to put a mathematical together, who you're following, what you're doing, what they did right, what they did wrong. My father wasn't a big exercise guy. My mother really wasn't a big exercise person, but she does a lot of work outside. So there's a lot of pieces. You got to look at your own health history. And if you see that your health history has what we call leaks, then you're probably gambling that you may not make it to that 90-year mark. Reason number 2, the go-go years. Pretty much said this already, but the retirement is really in 3 phases. There's the go-go, there's the slow go, and then there's the no-go. And when I put that out there, a lot of people laugh at it, but they always question the same thing. Oh, tell me, what's the go-go? And the go-go, as I've explained to you already, is those years you're going. You got health is in your bag. You're doing well with that. You got the money. You got the energy. You got everything. You're go, 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 go. Then when you hit that, and this number changes for everybody, but I really believe it's right around that 70 to 75 range, is you become the slow go. And then when you get past that, you go into the no-go. You know what? Sitting in the chair is just as fun and watching TV as getting up to do anything. Money at 63 buys adventures. Money at 79 buys medical appointments. I've done a lot of study with this, guys. I've done this across the board, and I believe in that statement. 63 buys adventures, 79 buys medical appointments. Don't spend your go-go years waiting for a check until you use it in your no-go years. File early, hike now, doctor's office later. Reason 3 and 4, spousal strategy. The smart couples use filing timing as a team strategy. Unlock spousal benefits. Your spouse can't file for their 50% spousal share until you first file. If your spouse has a minimal work record, you hold the key to your income. Survivor benefit hedging. If your spouse is the high earner but in poor health, file at 62. Collect your small faucet now. When your spouse passes, switch their large severance benefit. Filing early isn't always about you. Sometimes it's the smartest move for your team. Don't sell low. Social Security as a portfolio pressure release valve. If the market drops 40%, selling your 401k to pay your bills, I'm going to be upfront with you, is brutal and permanent. You're not going to get that money back. But that guaranteed Social Security creates that income that you need to continue with. Your portfolio gets time to recover instead of being liquidated at the worst possible moment. Okay, so it gives you time to recover if we have this major market change. So Social Security isn't just income, it's a hedge against the worst marketing times of your life. So you have another piece of that retirement puzzle. Now the tax torpedo. Now this is the safety net that we go to it. Reason number 6, the tax window. Require minimum distributions, RMDs, kick in at the age of 73. Filing Social Security before your RMDs can mean significant lower taxes on that income. The tax torpedo. Social Security income plus RMDs is a massive avoidable tax hit. The real reason life happens, business fails, medical bills pile up, job loss, Social Security is a safety net. That's literally what it's designed for. Using it when you need it is not failure. It's the point. Life doesn't care about your optimal filing strategy. File when you need to. There's no shame in filing for Social Security. There's no need to it. Remember, as I said at the start of this, it's your money. You've paid into it. Take a look at your old paychecks. They've collected it from your paychecks. Your employer has had to pay a matching match to it. So again, life doesn't care. File when you do. You know, a lot of people are proud when they say, I'm on Social Security now. I'm on a fixed income. Yeah, you're right. But there's so many extra pieces to it versus just doing the simple math that, oh, when I gain extra money because I wait until 70. Oh, I get bigger returns. You know, by the age of 90, I'll have made more money filing at 70. I'm so smart. Well, show me the guarantee that you're going to live until you're 70 or until you're 90. Hell, show me a guarantee you're going to live till 70. Show me your guarantee you're going to live tomorrow. I don't want to be negative about that, but the point and the facts are this. You don't know when you're going to die. You've been paying into this your entire life. And if you have an option to take it at 62, I think I've shown everything about this, that 62 is the magic age. Simple math proves it. And then what's your health like? What's your tax purpose going to be like? What's happening in your life across the board? So 3 rules for a smart security planning. 1, stress test your model. Change your assumed life expectancy by 3, 4, 5 different years. See how the math shifts. Coordinate with your spouse. Never analyze benefits is isolation. Spousal and survivor strategies change everything. A market downturn, health crisis, or a job loss could change your plans completely. Now you remember, after you get to a certain age, you can still collect 100% working and your Social Security. So the SSA deleted that calculator because people treat it as a starting point, as a final answer. Don't be that person. Run your own numbers. Talk with your spouse. Stay flexible. Do what you think's best for you and your overall position. Now, to close it out, I did that with my sister, and to be quite frank with you, she collected at 65 because it looked out the best for her. And she moved forward with that. And I supported her 100%. For me, I've already told her. I said 62 is my number. I said I follow a lot what my father has done. I do a lot that my father does or did. And I hate to say it, but probably somewhere in those mid-70s, I'm the guy who's probably going to be sitting there saying, had a great run, and I'm done. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking for that in any way, shape, or form. But I have to be honest with myself. I'm hoping I'm doing things now that are changing things, trying to work out, trying to do walking, exercising. I'm in my go-go years. I'm doing all that. Hopefully that's going to extend my life out. But I already have my plan. I've done the stress test, plus or minus 3 years. I've talked to my spouse about it. We've talked about this across the board. We have a plan for her. We have a plan for myself. And I'm going to stay adaptive to what's going on in the marketplaces. So hopefully this has helped you out. And if it has, click that like button. Keep following this series. We're going to continue on to it. There's 3 more parts that we need to add to this, and we'll really get to everything you need. I appreciate it, and thank you. And leave any comments down below. Love to hear what your thoughts are about the whole Social Security. Well, before we got to get into this, we do have to do a disclosure because we're technically rated as a financial channel, but the past performances do not guarantee future results, and the information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes. It is not to be considered financial advice.